All right, Aries, this one was difficult for me because I don't ever see Aries being the type to feel like they don't fit in. But that's basically what's happening here. But I think that you have like integrated yourself into a group situation or, just within a relationship here where things are not growing. I think would be the best way to put it. You guys are the extroverts, right? But I would say that, whoever you're dealing with or whatever you're dealing with is not benefiting you right now. So wisdom of the oracle, orphaned, and then Gaia's garden from hidden realms, fruitation, abundance, and reaping what you sow. But this did show up as a challenge. Now, as a challenge, it talks about being lazy and procrastinating, feeling like things should just come to you. But I don't think that that's it because of orphaned being there. Now, orphaned, the essential meanings for this is a sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. I just find that hard. When it comes to Aries, I don't think that the people around you even know this, that you feel this way. But the people that you are dealing with right now may make you feel like, not that you're an outcast, not by any means, but like they're not on the same wavelength as you, I think is the best way to put it. Like I'm trying to spit it out here. It says, the issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. It says, perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way that you did before and need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. It says, address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It threw me off a little bit, right? But like I always say when it comes to this, they're general. It's not going to be for everybody. You'll know if this is your situation. Now, Gaia's garden as a challenge, beyond the laziness and procrastinating. The other thing that it talks about is if you feel like an opportunity is closing, it's not that you're going to miss out completely. It's only when you're willing to help in your garden, so to speak, that you will certainly see more opportunities, better growth. I just feel like whatever it is that you're dealing with right now is just, you're not, you may feel like you should be fitting in, but for some reason you don't. Like you don't feel like you belong, or people are making you feel that way. All right, Aries. Here's your overall. The Knight of Pentacles. This one in the Four of Cups is never a good thing, right? But slow and steady, slow and steady. This being the overall could suggest that things are moving slowly for you. You may feel like things are not growing in the way that they need to be. But with the Knight of Pentacles, I also feel like if you have plans, you need to stick to them, no matter how long it's going to take. But this also can suggest caution in dealing with certain things or certain people. But we'll see here. Now, in the past, the Four of Swords, man, you guys are throwing me off. Like, seriously, I get so, like, hyped up for Aries, but, as soon as I started this one, I felt, like, low, not depressed, but, like, low energy. The Four of Swords, again, inaction or slow action. The Four of Swords is a past coming through. You've either taken a break from a situation here. There may not be a whole lot of communication between you and another person, right? You may not be hearing anything. Some of you are just needing to take a time out, right? And it may be that you're taking a break from a person here and, things are moving slowly in the right direction, but I don't think that you're in any rush to, fix the situation or to make things better at the moment. In the present, the Two of Pentacles, and we'll see. The Two of Pentacles for me, yeah, right? Like you have the ability to keep things going, and it may be that you're trying to figure out a couple of different situations, but what I worry about here is flexibility in terms of you, bending over backwards, because that tends to show up for me when somebody is being a little bit too flexible for the benefit of another, but not for yourself, but we'll see here. And it could be that you're not really ready to, jump into a situation again, You know, especially if you're the one that's constantly having to try to keep things going. You know, that's not really fair to you. You know, but I see you in the past like not wanting to do this, but yet here you are in the present moment doing it again. Future conditions, the King of Swords. Now, for some of you, yeah, this could be the person you're dealing with, male, female, I don't care. Air sign doesn't matter to me. But with the King of Swords, it almost feels like you're justifying why you're doing this. You know, because you're talking about thinking clearly here, being the clear communicator, thinking about things from a logical perspective here. But, you know, are you trying to justify what you're doing? Or is somebody else trying to make you see the logic in, well, you're the one that has to keep everything in balance? You know, and again, like, I feel like it's not fair. And for a lot of you, there may be a lot of caution when it comes to dealing with a certain person here, because you're the one that's trying to keep everything going. Wow, Aries, the hell? Your best path to follow, the Ten of Pentacles. You are going to have to work on your own security and stability. Stop doing things for other people. You know, it's funny because one of the things that I talk about with Aries, and a lot of people don't see this, is that they're willing to help out. Like, they don't hesitate. You ask them for help, they're like, oh yeah, and they don't expect anything back. You know, I feel like I need to tell you, stop trying to do the balancing act. Stop, you know, trying to figure things out for other people and for their benefit. You know, your most important thing right now, I think, especially with the Knight of Pentacles being there, is you need to start working on you and finding a place of security and stability for yourself, rather than doing things for other people or going out of your way for others. You know, especially if they're going to be a dick about it. Like, I don't know how else to put that. In your environment, the Page of Wands. That's funny because I see that as you, right? Now, with the Page of Wands being in your environment, the thing is yeah, you know, where there is like a break and there isn't a whole lot of communication, you may be, you know, hearing something really good. It's got you really excited. I want to take this new path. But yet at the same time, you're still trying to figure something else out for somebody else, you know. And that could be, like I said, somebody trying to justify why you're the one that needs to keep things in balance. That's bullshit to me. You know, I don't know why I'm getting like this feeling of frustration around this, you know. I just don't think that it's fair to you. I don't think that it's fair to you that you're having to do this for the benefit of another person who doesn't give a shit about moving things forward. You know, I do think that with the Knight of Pentacles, eventually things are going to fall into place, you know, as long as you're willing to follow your own plans through here. But again, with that Ten of Pentacles, you need to think about you, right? It's funny because I've been getting that a lot this week, you know. And it's not ego. It's not about ego. It's about you not doing things for others who don't give a shit about you. You know? Oh, your hopes and your fears, the Tower. So now with the Ten of Pentacles and the Tower, you know, for those of you who are dealing with like family situations or even like, you know, relationship situations here, the fear would be that, you know, things are not going to be stable for you with the Tower, right? Everything's being cleared away. Boom, gone, done. You know, like drastic change that needs to happen. For some of you, you may not be wanting to deal with it right now, which is why you're still trying to keep things in balance with an asshole. You know, the hope there would be that you're done with it. You wipe it away, it's done and it's over with, and you get to rebuild something for yourself here. You know, things are going to move slowly. They're not going to be boom, 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 but eventually you're going to get to the place where you have, you know, that security and stability for yourself. Damn, Aries. Like, I don't know how else to put it. That's just what I'm getting from this, looking at it. Because it would make sense that he would show up as far as the asshole that's making you do the balancing act, you know. Now, for some of you, you may have, you know, another opportunity coming through. You may get this communication. It may sound really good. But the problem is you're still dealing with another situation. And the reason why you're still doing this is because the fear there is, again, with the Tower, you know, things drastically changing in a way that you can't handle. But like I said, I think that you need to start thinking about you right now and not other people anymore. And then coming out strength, right? Finding your inner strength here to continue with your own plans. And then the Eight of Cups. I'm telling you. The Ace of Cups. With the Four of Swords, it's not happening. Nothing's happening. Nothing is moving in that direction. Now, for some of you, you may have taken this opportunity. It's funny because I've seen this before. You may have taken this opportunity, but you're at the Four of Swords. Nothing's moving forward. Things are dragging ass here. And I don't think it's because of you. I think it's because of somebody else, where there should have been this beautiful opportunity for you to be happy, to have new love, spiritual connection, all those wonderful things with the Ace of Cups. It's not happening. It's not happening. The communication, though, that's coming through, like I said, with the devil being there, it's not good. It's not healthy for you. You shouldn't be doing this anymore. Right? They may be a good talker, but, it's still unfair to you to make you feel like you're the one that needs to keep things going. I almost feel like they're saying to you that you're the one that needs to fix this. Now, on the other hand, right, like I said before, for some of you, it is about this opportunity here with the Ace of Cups. But, instead of acting on it, you're continuing to do something for the benefit of an asshole. Straight up. Like, I can't, stress that enough with this one. With the Eight of Cups, when do you get to the point where you realize that this situation is unhealthy, it's not making you happy, it's draining you, and you need to move on? And can you find the strength to do this? It's frustrating to me. It's frustrating because it's not an equal partnership. It's not an equal situation for you. You're the one that's in the balancing act, But yeah, I do think that, it's not going to happen right away. It's not going to happen right away. And now it makes sense to me with Orphaned and Gaia's Garden. It's like that you don't belong with this person. That you don't belong with this situation, but you may be trying to justify why you continue doing it. That, or they're trying to make it sound like, well, it's your responsibility. No, it's not. No, it's not. Man, oh man, you guys are going to have to let me know. That seems to be the big time message as far as this week goes. I'm seeing this quite often this week, where we're needing to spend more time thinking about what's important for us rather than other people right now. And it's not that you don't care about other people, but it's time to stop wasting time on others that, are not going to support you in the same way that you support them. And then Earth. I don't see this one a lot, but this is the second time this week that I've seen this. Tranquility. So some of you are needing to find some tranquility here in order to, if I could talk right, tap into your inner strength. But the way that you're going to find that strength is by going outside and sitting with the trees for a minute. Like, seriously, that is what this card is about. Needing to ground yourself. Go outside. Be in tune with your surroundings. Be in tune with the earth. Get a clearer perspective on what you're dealing with and why you're doing this. Right? But you need some tranquility for sure. And then embracing enthusiasm, shout to the heavens with happiness. Once you go through that personal transformation, right? Be happy, choose to be happy, right? Once you make that choice to, be happy and enthusiastic about what's ahead, it's going to make it easier for you to find the strength to walk away from an asshole, or people who expect too much out of you, right? But a new way of living. There will be a new way of living for you. It's not bad. I don't understand. For me, it's hard to understand, looking at my perspective of Aries, but right, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And that's one of the things that I see with Aries a lot, is when the emotional stuff starts to come up, nobody would ever know. Nobody would ever see it, But it's time for you to start thinking about you and your overall happiness, security, stability, excitement, and enthusiasm. Don't let somebody else try to pin you down.